Hey everybody, today I want to talk about something that's kind of an oddity, but interesting for classic horror movie fans like me. There was a show in the 1960s called Route 66, and I never cared about the show. I've never seen episodes of the show, have no interest whatsoever. The show starred Martin Milner and George Maharis. And because I don't watch the show, I've never known really what the general setup of it is, what the plots are, or anything like that. But there's one episode, a Halloween episode from 1962. It's actually from season 3 of Route 66, and it's, I think, episode 6. And I've always been interested, and I watch it every now and then because it has a reunion of the horror classic stars Boris Karloff, Lon Chaney Jr., and Peter Lorre. And here's the DVD that I picked up a long time ago, Route 66 Super Series Volume 1. It has 3 episodes on it. I've never been any kind of way inclined to watch any of the other ones. There are 3 episodes on here, but as you can see, the episode is on the bottom, and it's called Lizard's Leg and Owlet's Wing. Okay, and it's got Karloff, Peter Lorre, and Lon Chaney in it. Now, I've never understood the plot. I watched it again last night, and again, I don't understand the plot. I don't know what the characters played by Martin Milner and George Maharis are doing. All I know is they're in a hotel, and there are a lot of beautiful girls in this hotel. And in this hotel, they're working or hanging out, whatever they're doing. I have no idea. I can't follow the story. But what interests me and horror fans like me is that Boris Karloff, Lon Chaney, and Peter Lorre, they're advancing in age now. You know, they're stars of the cinema, really, mostly from like the 30s and the 40s, and now we're into 1962. And the question is, they all have a wonder how they can shock audiences. Is their old kind of horror still potent? Are people today in the modern era of 1962, are they still scared by characters like the Frankenstein monster and the Wolfman or the Mummy? Can it still work? So it's a treat. It's always a treat to watch this once in a blue moon, and it's good for Halloween viewing because they really camp it up. Karloff is his professional self, and Lon Chaney Jr. gets to dress up in 3 horror character guises. First, Hunchback of Notre Dame, which was played by his father, Lon Chaney Sr., in the silent era, and then he gets to dress up later on as his most classic role, the Wolfman. And he also plays the Mummy as well. And Chaney in particular is a lot of fun. He's like a big kid. He's funny. He has some humorous sequences. And Karloff, as I say, always the professional, the king of horror. He actually gets to portray his classic role of the Frankenstein monster for a little bit near the end of the episode. Now, even though these guys are old, and even though the makeups are nowhere near what they were, it's amazing how now you have 1962 and the makeup can't match the classic Jack Pierce designs of the 30s and 40s, the classic monsters. Still, it is such a treat, such a nostalgic kick to see these guys, these professionals, this long afterwards, having a kind of comedy romp, playing their old characters. And Chaney in particular, as I say, really gets into it. He's a lot of fun. Peter Lorre, I like Peter Lorre. I'm a fan of Peter Lorre to a degree, but Peter Lorre I always felt was miscast here, only because I've never thought of Peter Lorre as one of the great monster actors or one of the great horror actors, although he's had his moments in films like, say, Mad Love from 1935, I believe. But yet, I don't think of him as the same as Karloff and Chaney. Really, we could have used Bela Lugosi, but unfortunately, Bela Lugosi died in 1956. Maybe they could have thought about getting Vincent Price for this episode, or maybe John Carradine. They were a little more really horror, I think, actors, more or less. But still, seeing Peter Lorre here is a treat. There's something about him that's always kind of humorous to see at this stage in his life. They were doing funny movies, horror comedies, really, like with Peter Lorre, like The Raven, the Comedy of Terrors, things like that. So Lorre kind of like has some fun with this, I think. Anyway, yeah, I recommend this watching this episode for anyone who's a fan of the classic monsters, because it's great. But as I say, the rest of it is a lot of time bogged down with stuff that I don't understand what's going on. I can't follow it. Maybe because I don't know the whole series. I don't know the purpose of these two main characters played by Milner and Maharis. Maybe I don't know what their purpose is supposed to be. And it's kind of dull and boring and uninvolving. But whenever the horror actors are on, it really grabs your attention. So that's it. Check it out.